Young guys, I tell them all the time. I haven't told them, but I wonder, why when you start making big money, the next thing I do, I see you at the ringside with $250,000, $300,000.
Well, they ain't never had it, you know, right? And it's like, that's what they've been looking at when they didn't have it.
Here's a case of having men around you. Where's somebody to say, wait a minute, man, you can take this money, put yourself in a position where you can own the jewelry store.
Hey, Floyd, do you think if you only have one arm, you would still manifest this life and success? You find a way to do it?
Man, I'll be cold-blooded with one arm. I'll be cold-blooded with two arms. And please get the necklaces for the ladies and gentlemen.
We gotta zoom in, man.
You know?
I've only seen CZs like that before.
Oh, no, these ain't no armor, man.
I should have worn sunglasses.
You already know, ain't no CZ.
According to TMZ, Floyd says roughly $100 million worth of bling has handed over to a Miami jeweler for only $13 million in return. And he said a huge chunk of the collection is still sitting with the dealer. Floyd also says he unknowingly signed paperwork transferring ownership of his Gulfstream jet with a buyer section left blank, and says he still doesn't know where the...
For years, fans have watched Floyd Mayweather Jr. proudly display luxury watches worth millions, stacks of cash overflowing from designer bags, and collections of exotic supercars purchased without hesitation. To the public, it projected the image of a man who had mastered the art of wealth. But behind the glamorous social media posts and extravagant displays lies a much more complicated reality. The real question is no longer how much money Floyd earned during his legendary career. Instead, it is whether maintaining the image of unlimited wealth has become a burden of its own. What appears to be a flawless financial empire from the outside may actually require constant effort, constant spending, and constant attention just to keep the machine running.
With the lavish lifestyle that Floyd has built over the years, the jet, the entourage, non-stop spending, has he created a lifestyle that when he was making $200, $400 million a year, he was able to enjoy? Has he created something that he can no longer keep up with?
Yeah, I think so, because if you think about Floyd obviously having to maintain the image of being Money Mayweather Joe, being at one point, being at Top's highest paid Forbes, top highest paid athlete at one point, the lifestyle that he did live, you understood. Once you stop fighting, once you retired, regardless of what investments you made, there are no investments in this world, I don't care who you are, Uncle Joe, that you can make that can still accumulate that type of revenue that the sport that you play can. It's not that many. You gotta hit, you gotta get in good and hit it when it's hot, and it happens very seldom. It happens very seldom. So I hate this. I hate this for my young bull, man. I hate this for my young bull, Floyd. Hopefully this situation gets rectified, especially when it comes to having people around you, having other people.
Veteran trainer Virgil Hunter believes the transition from poverty to massive wealth can be one of the most dangerous moments in an athlete's life. According to Hunter, when fighters receive life-changing paydays for the first time, emotions often take control of decision-making. Instead of viewing money as a tool for long-term security, many see it as a chance to finally purchase everything they once dreamed about. Years of sacrifice, struggle, and deprivation can create an urge to enjoy success immediately. The problem is that emotional spending rarely comes with a long-term plan, and that mindset can eventually create financial challenges that are difficult to reverse.
I tell them all the time. I haven't told them, but I wonder, why when you start making big money, the next thing I do, I see you at the ringside with $250,000, $300,000.
Well, they ain't never had it, you know, and it's like, that's what they've been looking at when they didn't have it.
Here's a case of having men around you. Where's somebody to say, wait a minute, man, you can take this money, put yourself in a position where you can own the jewelry store over a period of time, and then you can wear everything free, like Johnny Dang, right? He owns a jewelry store, so he can bling up anytime he wants to, any which way he wants to, because he owns it. You got something around your neck that's going to depreciate, right, in time. So you take that 300 and you can go get 4 or 5 houses, put 50,000 on houses in certain neighborhoods, and now you got income coming, equity building, and everything like that. It's none of my business, but it does affect me in a way when I see value around your neck. When I see generational wealth being put around your neck and hung up in the closet somewhere when you're not doing it. I see.
Within the world of professional sports, appearances often carry enormous value. Expensive jewelry, luxury vehicles, and designer lifestyles frequently become symbols of achievement. However, critics argue that many athletes invest heavily in items that lose value rather than assets that generate future income. A fighter may spend hundreds of thousands on chains, watches, and cars that begin depreciating almost immediately. Meanwhile, investments such as businesses, commercial real estate, or income-producing properties often receive less attention. In a sport as unpredictable as boxing, where careers can change overnight because of injury or defeat, that approach can create significant financial vulnerability.
What a Bentley. Or something like that, you see?
If you can afford it.
If you can afford it,
But that's the tricky part. Can you afford it?
Can you afford it?
You know?
Not the flaw. So, but it's a short sport, it's a short game, it can end at any time.
Straight up.
Anytime, I don't care how good you are, anything, one wrong move.
Just be an injury.
Wrong punch in the wrong place, and it's a wrap. You see, and you never recover from that. So, no, I appreciate when you got out, and I don't ever have to look back. You know, I used to tell you, I don't never want to be an old coach on a stump, sitting somewhere talking about, man, I should have done this because I allowed somebody to keep going and getting brain damage. I don't care who it is. If I got guys in here now and they don't look like they got it, I'm going to tell them. I don't care if you got $1 million payday on the table. I'm going to tell you because I'm not going to sell out to money.
Yeah.
You know, I care about you. You're in a sport that you can get hurt, killed, or affect not only you, but your family and everything else. You know, so take the sport serious because it's a serious sport. It's a deadly sport. And when you have ability and you're going through the routines and everything is shining your way, still something can show up out of nowhere. There's always somebody that's your kryptonite. Always somebody that's your kryptonite. And usually you meet them at the time that your skills.
For many elite athletes, wealth eventually becomes more than a financial achievement. It becomes part of their identity. Once a public image is built around being the richest, most successful, or most extravagant person in the room, maintaining that reputation can feel like an obligation. The pressure to constantly display success creates a cycle where spending becomes intertwined with personal branding. Over time, the challenge shifts from achieving wealth to continuously proving its existence, even when circumstances behind the scenes may be changing.
I don't know if Mike is, but most fighters aren't. Most fighters concentrate on fighting. Mm-hmm. To be business-minded, that's a giant distraction. You got to pay attention to all this other shit. On top of that, it's generally not how they think.
Right.
You know? I mean, look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap. Just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. He gotta show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that shit. Like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. Mm-hmm. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
I remember Iran Barkley was talking.
Financial experts and analysts, including figures such as Chael Sonnen and Joe Rogan, have frequently pointed out that headline fight purses rarely tell the complete story. Large percentages are often allocated to managers, trainers, promoters, operational expenses, and taxes long before fighters receive their final earnings. As a result, the numbers that make headlines can be dramatically different from the amount ultimately kept. When financial planning is neglected and future income is assumed to be guaranteed, even enormous paydays can disappear faster than many people realize.
I was hanging out with all these professional athletes, and everybody was getting diamond-crusted chains and this and that, and he was keeping up with these people. Like, you got to keep up with the Joneses. And he just found himself, like, draining all of his money. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
Mm-hmm. They trying to keep up.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny when I was listening to this conversation with Chad Ochocinco. He was talking about it. He was like,
his jewelry fake.
he was wearing fake jewelry.
But who would know?
What's that?
Who would know? He's Chad Ochocinco.
Exactly.
It's
fake
like when
jewelry,
they look at him like
flying economy. He was sleeping at the stadium, like so he didn't have to pay for an apartment. So smart.
Yeah.
So clever, you know?
Yeah.
But that's a guy like preparing. Like,
nobody gonna question him. You know,
exactly.
They know, oh man, this NFL star, he got money.
Yeah.
You know, so we're not going to question if his dime is real or not.
Well, you really can't tell.
Right.
I can't. You can't tell until you get a magnifying glass on them.
Or that's why they say we got these diamond tests.
Reports and speculation surrounding Floyd's finances have fueled discussions about various financial obligations connected to maintaining a luxury lifestyle. Critics point to allegations involving expensive purchases, high-end rentals, and substantial recurring expenses that require continuous cash flow. These costs may seem manageable when income is flowing consistently, but they can become increasingly demanding over time. The contrast between the public image of limitless wealth and rumors of financial pressure has become one of the most talked about aspects of the ongoing debate.
Broke. He's a boxer. Did they say can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy. He grew up in a boxing channel, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time is just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company, who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view. It is illegal for them to lie. You have never heard Time Warner. You have never heard Cox. You never heard DirecTV. You have never heard an executive come out and confirm any of the absurd pay-per-view numbers that you believe to be true. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check? And I'm only sharing with you, like, the numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good, and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And
some reports have also raised questions about liquidity and asset management. Allegations suggesting that loans have been secured against valuable possessions, including properties and private aircraft, have sparked additional discussion. While leveraging assets is a common financial practice among wealthy individuals, critics argue that it becomes noteworthy when assets previously viewed as symbols of financial strength are reportedly being used to generate operating cash. This has led observers to question whether certain investments are continuing to grow or simply being utilized to sustain existing obligations.
Got money up front that he needed desperately. Again, I know people don't want to hear this, but he's bleeding money. Why do you think he sued Showtime, Al Heyman, Steven Espinoza? Why do you think these are happening, people? He's selling property. He just sold his Beverly Hills mansion. You have a jeweler suing him for $1.4 million. Financially, he is bleeding money. And this is something that's been happening for years, by the way. I actually made a video years back about Floyd possibly going broke, and people that, oh, he's not going broke, Jay. What do you call this? What's going on with him and his behaviors? He felt like, he's made a lot of money, but he also felt like he was cheated out of money. You know why? See, You never notice money is missing until you start losing money, you know? And when your money starts to run low, you realize I should have more than what I have. That's when you start seeing the lawsuits. He doesn't want to fight.
Financial concerns have reportedly extended beyond spending habits and into legal matters as well. Various reports have linked Floyd Mayweather's business interests to lawsuits, tax-related disputes, and concerns surrounding real estate holdings. While the details remain heavily debated, the growing number of public discussions has created an image of increasing complexity behind the scenes. Rather than isolated incidents, critics argue that these developments may represent a broader set of financial challenges that continue to evolve away from public view.
One of the other claims is about Floyd selling his jet and not receiving any money. There's mention in the complaint that the block for the purchaser was left blank. What the media misunderstood was that the plane wasn't sold for $1 like the complaint lists here. Here's the actual signed contract, which does list the consideration of $1 and OVC, and you can see Floyd's signature down below. I think what was misunderstood is that the plane didn't actually sell for $1. OVC means other valuable considerations, which means the sale was for more than $1. This happens when private parties don't want the amount known to the public. Here's the text message between Jonah and Floyd. Jonah sent the payoff letter from the lender of his private jet, as well as a letter from Navy Federal Credit Union regarding a $2.787 million payoff. What happened was Floyd took out a large loan against the value of the jet. So when the jet was sold, a large chunk of the money went to pay off the loan and many of his other debts. Here's the payoff demand statement for the jet. Highlighted is borrower named Floyd Mayweather. The total loan payoff is around $2.79 million, and the highlight in the bottom left is the property collateral as the Gulfstream Learjet. This is the bank wire transfer receipt from the credit union. Both of these documents were sent to Floyd, so he's clearly lying about the jet only selling for $1 and him being out of the know on the jet selling. The picture on the left is Floyd signing the contract, and the picture on the right is Floyd holding the aircraft purchase and sale agreement right after signing it. Does he look disappointed in the terms of the sale? This is the text Jonah sent to Floyd in September 2025, indicating that the house and airplane contracts were done, and Floyd responded, "Let's go." To make it even more clear that Floyd knew about the plane purchase and the terms of the purchase and sale, here's a text between Floyd and Jonah where Floyd writes, "Can you call me about the plane, please? I need for you to update me, please." And Jonah responded. One of the other claims is about Floyd selling his jet and not receiving any money. There's mention in the complaint that the block for the purchaser was left blank. What the media misunderstood was that the plane wasn't sold for $1 like the complaint lists here. Here's the actual signed contract, which does list the consideration of $1 and OVC, and you can see Floyd's signature down below. I think what was misunderstood is that the plane didn't actually sell for $1. OVC means other valuable considerations, which means the sale was for more than $1. This happens when private parties don't want the amount known to the public. Here's the text message between Jonah and Floyd. Jonah sent the payoff letter from the lender of his private jet, as well as a letter from Navy Federal Credit Union regarding a $2.787 million payoff. What happened was Floyd took out a large loan against the value of the jet. So when the jet was sold, a large chunk of the money went to pay off the loan and many of his other debts. Here's the payoff demand statement for the jet. Highlighted is borrower named Floyd Mayweather. The total loan payoff is around $2.79 million, and the highlight in the bottom left is the property collateral as the Gulfstream Learjet. This is the bank wire transfer receipt from the credit union. Both of these documents were sent to Floyd, so he's clearly lying about the jet only selling for $1 and him being out of the know on the jet selling. The picture on the left is Floyd signing the contract, and the picture on the right is Floyd holding the aircraft purchase and sale agreement right after signing it. Does he look disappointed in the terms of the sale? This is the text Jonah sent to Floyd in September 2025, indicating that the house and airplane contracts were done, and Floyd responded, "Let's go." To make it even more clear that Floyd knew about the plane purchase and the terms of the purchase and sale, here's a text between Floyd and Jonah where Floyd writes, "Can you call me about the plane, please? I need..."
Business disputes have only added to the controversy. One of the most widely discussed examples involves Logan Paul and questions surrounding payments connected to their exhibition event. Reports suggested disagreements over financial responsibilities after complications involving promotional arrangements. What should have been a straightforward transaction instead became a public dispute filled with conflicting claims and unanswered questions. Situations like this have contributed to ongoing speculation about the financial structures operating behind some of Floyd's business ventures.
Filed a lien against Floyd Mayweather in Las Vegas. It says he owes $7.3 million for unpaid taxes in 2018 and 2023.
$7.3 million? Man, what you think you got? Kelsey Grammer? Chelsea Clinton?
Bro, what you think you got? Kelsey Grammer? $7.3 million. Man, hold on.
The boxer was recently sued for other allegedly unpaid bills. The IRS has filed a $7.3 million lien against famed boxer and entrepreneur Floyd Mayweather Jr. for unpaid taxes in 2018 and 2023. The lien was filed last month in Las Vegas, where Mayweather has property. The notice shows the balance was unpaid as of March 26th. An attorney for Mayweather declined to comment on it. The lien, through which the government can lay claim to Mayweather's property until the bill is paid, is the latest in a series of debts the 49-year-old fighter has accumulated, as Business Insider has reported. It comes amid other major developments in Mayweather's life. The ex-champ, who retired from pro boxing in 2017 and has been focused on business pursuits in recent years, recently embarked on a lucrative comeback. An exhibition bout against Mike Tyson is scheduled for April, and a pro fight against longtime rival Manny Pacquiao is slated for September at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Financial freedom.
Not everyone believes money is the only factor involved. Former champion Andre Ward has emphasized the psychological challenges many retired fighters face. According to Ward, boxing is not simply a job. It becomes a major part of a person's identity. The adrenaline, competition, attention, and purpose that come with fighting are difficult to replace once a career ends. Even after retirement, many fighters continue searching for ways to recapture those feelings. In some cases, exhibition bouts may represent more than financial opportunities. They may also serve as a way to remain connected to the lifestyle and identity that defined their lives for decades.
Someone making those type of accusations.
That comes with the territory.
Right.
And you got to realize, when you used to getting, to them, that's real money. And I like YouTube because I don't mind getting a YouTube check.
Shit, we getting a YouTube check.
Right.
This is going to be a big YouTube check.
Yeah, so, the money is not coming fast enough. That's why when they say money on the back end, as far as pay-per-view, it take a while, And he shouldn't trip. If he feel like he done great numbers and we done record-breaking numbers, then I understand. Nothing comes right away. Just like I'm still collecting checks from fights 7 or 8 years ago. I'm still collecting checks. Why? Because I made smart moves and I'm my own boss. So they hate when the tables turn.
Right.
Look how many years they've been owing us money. But we don't never trip. So now when the tables turn, they say, oh, you owe us something.
Ultimately, the conversation surrounding Floyd Mayweather highlights the challenges that can emerge when wealth becomes the centerpiece of a public image. Once financial success becomes a defining characteristic, any rumor, lawsuit, or controversy can trigger intense scrutiny. Maintaining that reputation often requires constant visibility, constant activity, and constant reminders of success. Whether Floyd's continued appearances and exhibition fights are viewed as smart business moves or warning signs depends entirely on perspective. What remains undeniable is that few athletes command attention the way he does. Years after retirement, every move still generates headlines, every rumor sparks debate, and whenever Floyd Mayweather is involved, the world continues to watch closely.